Hey, what's up, everybody? Mogion Monster here, and welcome to Why the Fascination, or WTF as I like to call it. I hope you guys are having an amazing week. I know it's just the beginning. Hope you had a good weekend. Wow. It's been an interesting weekend. How is everybody doing in chat? Holy crap. How many we got? I can't tell. It doesn't give me a number yet, but there's a lot of people here. Well, let's just start saying hi to everybody. Cashew, hello. Stephanie. Joe, what's happening, man? Squatching Cowboy. Paul Holland, Mr. Lee 3PO, what's happening, buddy? Good to see you. Geo 1987. Geo 1987. Rex, what's going on? Why am I yelling? What's up, Patrick? So yeah, tonight, guys, I have a guest lined up. His name is Sean Patterson. He's coming from California, and he's got some stories to tell. What's up, Lockbeard? Yeah, so I'm not even going to waste time babbling. We're just going to bring him on. Sean, what's happening, man?
Hey, everybody.
How are you doing tonight?
Good. You?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So, what brings you here tonight?
Just to share something with everybody that I find that they would think is interesting, and I think
Right on.
would be something good to know for safety or whatever.
So, what's your first of all, you served in the Army. Thank you very much for your service, buddy. Really, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no, we appreciate it. Yeah, you just I know you have some paranormal stuff, or you're into cryptids and stuff. So I'm just going to give you the floor, and start from the beginning, and tell us whatever you want to share.
All right, short story with the Army. Got medically retired for psychiatric and back stuff. Was doing the school thing and stuff till I kind of medically retired too, unfortunately. But this has been an interest for me as long as I can remember. Like I've liked Sasquatch and everything. Always was watching anything. I remember in the 90s when we had internet, there wasn't anything. Like you couldn't find it. Like compared to what it is now, it's like a buffet of cryptid stuff. Like it's unbelievable how much stuff is out there. So I will. There's a few people I really liked, like Duke. Duke was a big one for me. He had a really expanded mindset about how he did everything, and I respected that from early on, because it always seems people just want to look one way. But so I liked the Sasquatch thing and everything. In the past, I never went out and looked or anything. It was just something I was interested in. I got married in the Army and everything. I had kids, so that got like in the way, and that just kind of it became something where I'm just watching Monster Quest or just TV shows like everyone else, pretty much. And then like everything kind of kicks off at this part. Though me and my girlfriend go to Utah, it's big national forest up there.
Okay.
It's near the border. I apologize, I don't know the name offhand,
No worries.
but
No worries.
we had a cabin that
Somebody will know it.
We had a cabin that was right in it. So the national forest was literally, you could just walk 30-second walk from the back of the house to it. And I have two dogs that, like again, like in the video that you're going to be playing or people will see later. I have an Argentinian Mastiff. Her name is Mary Jane. And the Vizsla is a little orange dog. So they're very close to me, and they're pretty much my therapy dogs. But I was going out with them during the day and walking around the forest and everything. And, I had the mindset of looking for Sasquatch, looking for signs. But, like, I'm no hunter. for anyone like serious, like with outdoor experience, like I know in my gut that like this is just for fun. I like going outdoors. Like if
Sure.
I see a stick breaker, even a stick structure someone probably made, like I'd still be excited to see it. It doesn't matter. I wasn't looking for anything, but like I set some food out. We had about 4 people staying with us. So
Okay.
like I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna give this smorgasbord of crap to Sasquatch. So it was like a watermelon, a cake, just it's my dog, and that's really like splashy food, like just food that would just squish and get everywhere. And there's this big rock right behind the house that was about 300 feet back. With like this is important to remember that there's a tree next to the rock in front of it, closer to the cabin. Like, remember, that's an important detail I'll go over in a minute.
Okay.
But so I just like everything just splattered all over this rock, just mess. But I saw elk, turkey, like raccoons. Like it's like, okay, they're gonna have a feast of this. And I go out there, there's nothing. Nothing. Like it was never thrown on the ground.
Oh, there was no food whatsoever left?
No, like there's nothing like no, it was like nothing ever touched that rock.
Hmm.
Right? I was like, what the hell? What I saw that because it didn't make any sense. I'm like, well, maybe there is like Sasquatch. I guess I remember hearing that about reports and stuff, and my mind was open to it. I'm like, hey, maybe there is something out here. So I started engaging with what I found out later to be the clan of that area. I'd always go out, gifts, and with me, I believe in keeping technology to a very, 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 very small minimum. And what I value is having like a deep interpersonal relationship where
Sure.
I'm either like I'm going to kind of like have a positive relationship, like I go plant trees, I go pick up trash, like things that like giving back instead of taking. That's my attitude.
No, that's awesome.
And so I was going out there and doing that with them every day. And just, I had a camera and I was taking pictures and everything that I was doing. I got a gift rock. I have all these pictures so I can put them in another video for everyone to see. But like, I ended up talking to like on Long Island Bigfoot because I had a couple pictures, and like I'm like, is this something, dude? Is this something? And it was like just like a shadow, something stupid, just like a shadow next to a tree. That like I just thought maybe it was something, and then he looked at my pictures and he's like, holy fuck, dude! Like, like they like you or whatever he said, but he really helped me. He's a really good dude. Shit's real, 100%. Like
So
he's a good
you're
guy.
taking pictures.
Mike.
You're not actually seeing them, but you're taking pictures and you're
Oh, no,
seeing them.
I'm saying this is the beginning. So he
Yeah.
shows me, and then I go through the photographs that I took in Utah. There are multiple ones where I caught multiple individuals. There was one where it's an open clearing where they had a hunting trap, and I took a picture of that. They build shrubbery like grass, and they connect it into almost like a circle, and then they have traps and sticks in the center of it, and it's a run through, and you could tell they get elk to run through it, or maybe it's not them, but like it was interesting looking. You could tell it was purposely like made there, and I was just taking pictures and going back and looking at that. I had that entire clan posing for me. The alpha male was posing. I just had to look a little harder and closer. There was at least 15 individuals in that picture, including the alpha
Really?
male in the front with the alpha female kind of showing off. Yeah. Like I was just like my heart stopped when I saw that shit just because it's like no way. No way would I be getting anything compared to these dudes who've been out here for like who knows how long. Dudes who've like I really respect a lot of the dudes who've gone out there and done that because it's that's a real trial and effort to do that. And so
Sure.
I just thought, like, I didn't do that work. I didn't do that work to get to that point. It doesn't make sense. But
But look at it this way. Maybe it's not the amount of work, it's the kind of work. Maybe you did something different.
yeah,
It's,
I'm just getting praise for them too for all,
oh,
all that
absolutely.
effort they put in.
Absolutely. But don't say, why me? Why not you?
So anyway, I go from that point, and the next place that we stay at is an Indian reservation in San Diego County,
Okay, that's cool.
up in the mountains. I've got pictures of that I could show everybody too. And that is when I started really kind of using, like, when I went through trauma care to like deal with my PTSD, I really got big into meditation because like you're like going to go on a freak out, it like stops your head and you like deep breathe and you just kind of recenter yourself. So like I've often find going to these places, walking through their areas and meditating and finding your center and pushing that energy of come meet me, I'm not here to hurt you out here. Like they feel like their intuition is next level. This is just a guess
It's
at my
it's a
point.
very popular belief that they know your intent when you walk in the woods, and that would back that up. I believe it's true too. They know why you're there. They know if you're good or bad. Apparently, you're a good person. If they're showing themselves to you, or you know, hold on. Who else we got here? Who's your? I'm gonna cut you off for 1 second. Who's your? What's up? Linda Bennett, Johnny Half, Hilton. What's going on? Bigfoot, Michigan Rob. What's up, buddy? Paulie T. What is this now? Mugs, funny you say why me. Chinese joint near me names the same you eat when they're leaving. It's why me.
That's funny.
Right on. Thanks, Paulie. I just wanted to, hey D, Bobby, Sandra, Sharon. I'm probably repeating people, but I see y'all. All right. Didn't mean to stop you there, but
No, it's great. I could regather my thoughts and
what's up,
continue
Mark?
to.
Right on. Yeah. Carry on.
So, like, let's say, for instance, there was one spot where I did meditate next to what I thought was a branch that was twisted out and created into a nest. And everybody, I promise you'll see all the pictures of this shit on Long Island Bigfoot's channel. But like I took a couple pictures after, and then I went and looked later at everything I took at that location, and the alpha male was like camoed into the tree. It was crazy. It's just fucking King Kong, chest out to here. I can't even imagine how wide his shoulders were, and his face was, most of Sasquatch that I interact with and see are more towards Patty or Abe. They're not so much as human. They're not as human as some of the other parts. And what was I talking about? Oh no, I remember.
Go ahead.
So that, like, I deal with most of that type of Sasquatch, and that was really my only interest. But like I really love like dark evil shit. Like I'm into like really dark metal. I into werewolves. I got one like tattooed on my chest here. So I was like really hoping I could run into, I know it's silly, a Dogman. I really wanted like an encounter with a werewolf, like in the back. Like Squatch was great and amazing, and I really appreciated all the interaction. But like I wanted like a bit of a blood rush, and I know it's stupid to say that, but and I got what I wanted because they, despite like going back, I thought I would have to go out to a remote location like the Indian reservation, that I was going to, which was 3 hours from my house in Long Beach. So I found a place that was 40 minutes outside of Los Angeles that's very populated with both of them. And the crazy thing was, there's like an intuition on a weird level that kind of guides you when you're looking for locations. Like, just, I don't know how to quite explain it, but it's almost suggestive. I haven't had exact telepathic connection. The closest thing I can call it to is like muscle reaction area. Like, oh, there's a log. Like, you're not thinking a thought per se, but you're like, I'm gonna step around the log, or I'm gonna step around the puddle, or I should turn this way to not go. Like, it's not necessarily like a word or anything put in your head, but it's like, it was one of those. And so I just decided to go off trail in an area that I thought was that I thought might have some luck in. And I stick to the same approach. I walk around in a very predictable route. I'm there to make their environment better. I'm there to respect their environment. I let them know I'm there, and I make sure to put them into each position of power so they can feel they're in control of the situation. So I kind of just let them, let's say, have the reins. Like, okay, guys, I'm gonna give you the steering wheel, and that really has seemed to have worked with them. And on the first, this is the same location. On the first
Yeah,
day
I
of
don't think you have it any other way. You know, they're in control.
I know that. I mean, like, just from all the reports, like, they could just like smash someone with 2 index fingers, it seems like. So, like, I mean, 405 is pretty scary to drive. So, like, that's kind of how I thought of it. but anyway, as the first day that I was there, it was just getting used to the area. But unbeknown to me, till I was going through all the evidence, the Sasquatch of that area were the ones who guided me through the area. And again, they were guiding me through what I thought were nests, what I thought were dwelling areas. Like, they seem to have, it's like they have a society away from a society, in a sense. Like, they had a location that they showed me that was under a very large oak tree, and it was surrounded, but like there is a round center in it. And when you went into it, it was almost like Colosseum, or like, like a Greek theater, like a meeting room where your voice would like would get louder. And it was the same feeling. Like, I know it's silly, but it was like they have the same feelings, the same senses from our society, kind of in theirs, but just in their own version to some way. I mean, that is just my experience, and that's what I've seen. I don't like. I got some pictures of it, but that's just like just my experience. And I got a lot of pictures of them that day, including the alpha male of that territory, who showed himself to me. And he brought, like, it was, I showed everything that I'm talking about. Long Island Bigfoot and me are good friends, Mike. So, like, he's been great, and Vince has too in New Zealand. They've been, and Dean, they've been just great, kind of helping me and guiding me along this process. And so I go back, and like it's about a 30-foot tree. The alpha males, the tree is about maybe like probably about 30 feet tall. The alpha male sticking his head out the side. It's wider than the tree, and he's just slightly shorter than it. And he has all his goons with him too. You could tell they're all the meanest. They're all the meanest dudes in that clan. But they were all. But he is the one you can definitely like say. But it was like it was a welcome, but we're watching you kind of thing.
So I mentioned earlier, I told you off camera, at the end of for you guys, he's talking about this video he posted I will post that video at the end of the show. It'll be on the screen somewhere that you can click on at the end of the show on the replay. And yeah, just wanted to put that out there.
No, definitely. Yeah, everyone watch it, please. I put it up for everybody.
It's cool music.
Copyright free too. And so they continue with that. And then on the second day there that I went there was an entirely different vibe than the first time. And it was such a stupid name, Dogman. That's such a stupid term to say. Dogman. But it was the same area. The area is not even that big, but it's within a national park. But they, through muscle cognitive communication, gave me the tour on the second day. They took me to different nest sites, which I do have in that in that video with my dog standing next to the stick structures, and it was really sad. That whole area just got toasted in a wildfire. It was terrible. It was really sad. So I don't even go to that spot anymore. But everything burnt to the ground, so they were the ones to guide me through that area. But the vibe between these two, I mean, I know this sounds crazy. This is just my experience. Is like they're similar, but with Dogman, you have much more. You're dealing with like an alpha predator, where I find that in my interaction with Sasquatch, they're just kind of almost like hippie stunners. They're just like, through it, like we're just lounging around. And they're just the ones I interact with. They're like way more like that. I have, including pictures of my dogs physically interacting with them. There's one where I had a baby sitting up on its nest. It's maybe about not even a foot tall, and it's got its hands on my Vishla's face. It's a little blurry, but you could tell, and they're making eye contact. So it's like the Sasquatch they're like, my dogs have a pretty close relationship with the young of both groups. But the Sasquatch are much more like, okay, like that's your problem. Now I'll go play with my kids. And I know my dog does because he goes, and I've heard noises and stuff, and they run around.
Mr. DeVere has a question.
They come to my home, 100%. But so they like my dogs have a close relationship with the young of these things. And while they're playing around on like this is the second day. While they're playing around, we're under this nest cavity, and I just felt like a really powerful sense of connection and kind of uplifting, which I just was like, okay, that's nice to feel. Okay. And so I continued, just did the normal thing. And I went through my pictures and I found multiple Dogmen, of course, but I found my guardian, my specific one, who's Hades, or which I named him Hades. I don't know what type of Dogman he is, but he was in that picture about 5 feet away from me. He's in the video. I don't know if he's necessarily a hominid type, but I think he's more on the canine side, honestly. But he's solid dark black eyes, massive underbite with like orc giant teeth coming out. And he's close with my dogs. I have a picture of him at my house. He was poking his head up over the fence. I have a decent picture of that.
Okay. That ties in with this question. Larry wants to know what happens around your home.
They go in my house. They're just curious. It's almost I don't even necessarily think it's them, or if they can just project themselves there. I mean, that's something to keep in mind too. Also, but I'm not.
I know they don't
they don't do anything destructive though. Like my dogs might like growl or make a noise or like they're very nice to me. I haven't experienced anything bad yet. But okay, so following into further into these trips, I started building my relationship with them even more. And that's when I started getting the experiences where I knew, like, my gut says it's Hades. My gut says it's Hades. That when I was walking through their area, oftentimes, especially if my dogs would take off in another direction, I would hear behind me and just what sounded like a 600-pound dog breathing. And like, no shit, it made my heart stop for a second. And like, I did have to use deep breathing in that moment. But it was just like, it was just like an appreciation that he chose to interact with me like that. And I feel like it was just more of like a punk, like just, hey, let's like, I know that like, and that's been apparent and it's obvious through other people's stories. These dogmen do like fucking with people, 100%. They've got a really dark, they have a really dark sense of humor. Whenever I go into their areas, oftentimes, same route and everything, they love to leave mutilated animals in my path. They'll leave possums with their fucking guts ripped open, headless raccoons, deer limbs. I'm a bit of a psycho, so I think it's funny. But like, there's a vibe and intention that is put with that thing. It's not just you running up on a dead animal. I'm on a specific path that I walk specifically down to the footstep almost, and for stuff to be placed within that trail over and over again, I feel in that kind of destroyed manner without the sun. To me, I did like feel like they would have been eaten by coyotes or something, or more signs of something like that. But it was like put there. At least my gut says it was put there.
Well, if it's the same spot and it happens multiple times, chances are it's put there. And you'll hear stories of something like a deer could be killed by a Sasquatch and left there, and nothing would eat it. Nothing would touch it. You hear that all the time. So
Yeah, that's very true. And so from that, like everything just kind of got just kept going in a positive direction. And so I go out to Northern California with my daughters, my girlfriend, and we rent this badass cabin, kind of like on private 20 acres, kind of near Sequoia National Forest. And I felt like there was something special about that property. Like I felt a calling to be outside. Very pretty oak trees, coastal California oaks, very like little pond, lots of animals. Just a really beautiful piece of property, and kind of like you imagine redwood forest area. But like something was calling me to go out there. So I started interacting with whatever it was out there, just doing the same thing that I do here. And before I knew it, I started getting gifts every day. I would have a rock placed on my specific one, and you see the rock in the video slide. It has a little monkey. It literally has like a little monkey face on it. It has a little monkey face on it, and
a whisper to a scream says, "Dead animals are territorial markers or markings. Careful how hard you press them if you're finding those clues."
I agree 100%. But like I said, these beings are able to manipulate air and energy that we can walk into, and it will set off a certain amount of chemicals or emotions in our head. So whenever I would have,
that was from Ryan, just so you know.
What's that?
Ryan. That was from Ryan, a whisper to a scream cryptid podcast.
Ryan.
You know who it's coming from.
And it would almost be like walking into a cloud of like laughing and dopamine, like instant, like like you would like that was like the intention put, and but it would quickly fade off once like I kind of walked into it. So, but I agree, yeah, that like they like I've definitely seen evidence of that, like just through other people's stuff that they do that for marking warnings, but. And so like with this specific piece of property, I was starting to like engage with them. And then one night, it was about the fourth day that I was there. And for each night, I was going and walking around in the woods. I would just go walk around in the woods at night. on this 28, just with my dogs. Just no, I never carry a weapon or anything. I just walk around, and like we got to this one spot, and like there's these big seeds. I don't know what they're called, but like someone or something underhand threw it to me through the forest. Not hard, but just enough for it to hit the ground and roll about 20 feet. And it's about, let's say about 10, the seed is about 10 feet away from me at this point. So I still go over and pick it up. It wasn't directly at me. And that was a big thing. And then my daughters had an interaction with them too also.
Which is good timing for this. Do you trust them?
Yeah, 100%. More than people.
How old's your daughter?
Family. My daughters are 4 and 7.
Okay.
So they're out there playing with the dogs. And they describe two bear cubs walking on their hind legs. We're following them around, and then like they went to them, and I know how my daughters are like wild children. I love my daughters. They are crazy like their dad. So they said they were like whistling and yelling at it and throwing sticks and shit at it, and just because like they could more than, and like the being wasn't doing anything at that moment. And then after that interaction, like there was like a mother in the spot where the youngsters were. So they said there was 3 all of a sudden, and then one hissed at them, but it had a baboon face, and it stood up, picked its baby up, and walked away. And I'm like, that's like, they thought it was a bear, and I'm not gonna tell them it's not.
What was the reaction at the time? Something hisses at you. You're 4 years old, 7 years old.
They ran inside the house screaming.
Okay.
Just something like that. So they ran inside. And then I love my kids, so I try to listen to my daughter as
Now Ryan says kids plus dogmen are a big no-no. They are checking out the kids for a reason. Now Ryan has a podcast, a Whisper to a Scream Cryptids podcast, and he's had experiences with dogmen, so it's not just somebody talking out their ass.
No, I'm not. It's cool. I appreciate the advice. And so like this thing only hissed at them though after they've been throwing sticks and shit at the young ones who were just standing there taking it, I guess. And then the mom came out of the bushes, hissed, and then picked up the young one and walked away. And in my experience with these beings, both of them, they share their young. Family is their tribal people, essentially. Family is the biggest deal for them. And a lot of these pictures, even if you look carefully, they place their young very close to me, where they show them off. In this video that I have that you guys are all going to see, I have the mother Sasquatch holding her son, showing him off. I saw that one, right?
The being shown off. There was some I couldn't figure out. There were some that were pretty, I was like, oh, okay, I see something there.
Oh, definitely. But there's one where a mother is showing her son, and I do have another one of that. Like that is a very big deal for them. So I think they probably just sent I felt they just sent their like little kids to go kind of meet mine, and mine were just being my kids.
You've been gifted, and I know in your video you say gifted by a gugwe. Want to talk about that?
Yeah. So
gugwees don't have a great reputation.
No, they don't. That's why like the story's so crazy. So like my daughter said, this being stood up with her young one, had baboon canine. That was the impression she did. So I went out there, and I followed her around, and they're like, I didn't really see anything, but the way she described it and everything, I believe my kid. Like I don't think she'd lie about that. That's silly, like especially in that detail. But like the the Gugwe started reciprocating to me and me like going about their nightly visits. I'd go walk around at night, like I said beforehand, and then I started having it went from just silence, silence to being paralleled. Not like, but it's crazy. These things are like Navy SEALs on steroids. It'll be
Oh,
just dead silent, and then just it kind of sounds like an elephant footstep. I know it sounds silly. I've been to the zoo and been around elephants, but it's kind of, they have those padded feet, so it's not so much just like a crash on the ground, but they can make noise when they want to,
oh,
and then
sure.
just like not like just showing off its size and just, but no hesitation. I got no bad vibes from it. Like meeting Hades, like it stopped my heart. I didn't see it, but it was about 20 feet to my side, to my right. And I remember I walked about 100 feet on the property, and it about paralleled me for 100 feet. And then one night, which is like I can't really say I'd like seen anything 100%, but this is they're kind of close to it. So like on the last night there was, it was a full moon. I was like, and there's like this pretty clearing where all these trees are, which most of them are at least 30 to 40 feet. And there was just like a shadow, what I thought was a tree, and and then it went, and then it just fucking disappeared. It was crazy, but it showed itself. It was massive. It was unbelievably massive, but I felt like that was like, thank you for bonding with us. Here's your gift of presentation of that, and that was a very big deal. And so
Sure.
and so I got a few gifts from them. I got oak seeds. I got a number of rocks, and I also got quite a few pictures of them showing off like a more canine baboon snout. That is a tribute. It's not necessarily what people say a baboon snout, but it is more definitely elongated than a typical Sasquatch face. And they I've heard a lot of the other ones by accident, because they can't be like, look, they're living to their degree. They're not perfect. They're gonna make noise occasionally, and I knew they're there if they're pacing you. There's a lot of them too pacing you at one time in my spots, and they're obvious sometimes. But the
So
Gogwe,
Ryan is suggesting that you look up some of the Micmac stories of the Gugwe. If they're hanging out about his kids, that's not good. Not good at all. I'm just passing this stuff on.
no, I appreciate it.
So that would be Micmac, M-I-C, capital M-A-C-K, Micmac tribe. Just
No, that's cool.
nobody wants to see children
No,
get in.
100%. I wouldn't ever do that with like a bear thing. Like I have a very strong gut. I had a shady lifestyle at one point. My gut has saved my ass many times, so I listen to that before anybody.
All right on.
I do. But anyway, just to continue with that though, that was like the final day, the final gift of them, and I really appreciated that. And so I continue to do the same thing back here, but like I said, the area got burnt to the ground. So I went into another location. This is all, like, you got to remember, this is all hour within downtown Los Angeles. So I go to another location. I personally like to go way the fuck off trail. I hate being around people, so like it's free to me to walk out of concrete fucking jungle to the mountains, and I love to go off trail and climb reasonably steep like mountains to the top, to
Sure.
the ridge point, Because in my experience, if you want to run into these things, they love the ridge points. The ridge points are like little secret towns, like involved. And I know it sounds silly, but even on Google Maps, you can't tell this. Like there's one of the ridge points that I go to, and look, I'm like on my hands and knees crawling up this thing. I'm too sissy to be a mountain climber. I could never do that. I don't have the guts to like go up see rock faces like that. But I like crawl on my hands and knees pretty much because it's so steep to get to that point. And once you get there, there's like so many flat layers, you could almost build a neighborhood in that area on a mountain ridge. Like it's deceiving.
Well, they're known as ridge runners or ridge walkers.
Yeah, but it's like I'm not super. I do have experience, but I'm not, like I said, a hunter or anything. It's always interesting to see kind of how the world opens up in front of you. So I started doing this, and the relationship, the Dogman and Hades has only gotten closer in that amount of time, but like the Dogman started communicating with me much more than the Sasquatch now at this point. And what I originally felt was like this thing was kind of connected to Sasquatch. Like this was their introduction to me. This adventure, this whatever fucked up journey you want to call it, it's the direction that it headed was, okay, Dogman, and now let's go take a wild left. Because this is like, so you got to figure by this point, I've been going out for a minute, getting photos, accumulating, because it's consistency. These beings, like I'm really screwed up. Like there's a lot of days I can't, like I wanted to go out today, but I couldn't. Like I didn't have the mental capacity to drive, like this PTSD stuff. And like they know that. I'm sure they know that. I'm sure they know how much like you try to go out and see them and stuff. I'm sure they're aware, more smart than we think they are. Like, this idiot's climbing up the mountain on his hands and knees to get up here, and leaving us cookies. So he's probably not that bad.
Larry wants to know what happened to the area that was burned, the fire that you said,
Southern California has just been having massive wildfires lately, just like crazy, like never before. There's like multiple fires going on all the time. Maybe not right now since it rained, but it's a very dry climate, and it just takes one cigarette to set like the powder keg off because it's just dry grass, dry kindle, and then you've had
I'm in Arizona, same thing.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so unfortunately, I don't go back to that area. It was sad. It was a very beautiful area, but like I've gone to other places, like I said, ridge points and stuff. So one day, that's true.
Bernie says, I believe your intentions determine your experiences, and absolutely. With just about everything in life.
Definitely. And this is I go up to this is like the ridge point that I'm up at, like about the second or third, I think a third time. And my routine up there is I go up there, I put all my shit down in my back, I carry a backpack and I put it on like a log within their little area. And then I go with my dogs and I just kind of like hang out within their area for an hour and just do whatever to interact with them. And then I go back and like take pictures and stuff, and then I gift them. So it's like a process of respect. I feel like I try to give as much as I can for what I take, like I feel like it's a big gift to be gifted. At least I'm very thankful for that, for them to do that.
Gifting goes,
cookies,
what do you get?
Donuts, pastries. They have a huge
you do the food thing?
Yeah, Dogman even like cookies. Like no joke, I'm not joking on that. My master's favorite food is Ben and Jerry's.
What flavor?
Jerry Garcia.
Of course. Well, you think Sasquatch, maybe he'd been a chunky monkey,
Yeah, right. Just be melted by the time we got there. Now they like I just try to see from their perspective. They're eating pine nuts, bark, whatever. If they are a living, breathing thing, they're nothing out there tastes good. Like, and people are like, oh, you don't want to get them off their diet. Like, they're walking miles all over mountains and everywhere. Any crap they're gonna eat, they're gonna burn off of it. So it's like, I don't think a couple cookies are gonna kill these things. So, but they,
No,
I
it's not. It's not the cookies that are going to kill him. It's just the whole habit of getting into gifting food. You always hear bad stories with Sasquatch when you stop gifting. They still look for it. You gift from your backyard and then you move out of the house and new people move in. Guess what? They're coming to their door. I'm just curious about your gifting. If
yeah, I pastries, cookies. I tried candy. They're not big fans of candy. They like the pastries and the bready stuff, in my experience.
have you seen any lights or orbs?
I have caught pictures of orbs. If you notice, these beings are very capable of manipulating light. So oftentimes, even if, let's say, they might not have that full cloaking ability, it's not much for them to stand in a shadow and like manipulate maybe a shadow one way to completely cover their face or manipulate light. They're professional. They're great at it. And I've gotten like energy signatures. I feel like some just weird stuff like that. I really don't know what it is. But to continue where the point led to now is I've been kind of in communication with Hades on and off. He'll come visit. Like there's been days here where like I've had severe depression or whatever and been like at the end of my psyche. And then like the day, like the picture I have him in my backyard is one of those days. And like there's an instant mental pickup. And then like, but also when you feel these things around you, there is an energy connected with them. I often feel like little jolts in my hand, like little tiny like pinprick jolts. And I mean, there's too many stories of them zapping batteries. There's too many. There's too many. I just feel like there's too much to say that they don't have something involved with energy. But
Sure.
yeah, that's
GPS
often.
go dead. Cameras go dead. A lot of shit goes dead. Same thing with like when you're ghost hunting. They drain energy. Big Rob, you never hear that damn Bigfoot ate my weed. No, you never hear that.
I never hear them touch it. I hear them. They never touch people's grows. I never hear that. But so okay. So what, like where it led to now is I've been doing this for a while. I go up to the ridge. I think I'm filming my phone. I have a setup on my phone. I have an iPhone. I have an iPhone 11 Pro X. So it's got a really nice camera on it, and I have like a little handheld thing that I hold it in, and I could
Right
see
on.
through the screen. So I'm looking through the screen, and once in a while, I've seen eyes or like movement or what. Nothing really like, but nothing that I see, and I'm just like, what is that? But like I'm like holding on to this thing and filming. And I see a strong pair of eyes looking at me, and this experience was only like half, like maybe a couple, like a second at most, but our eyes locked onto each other, and I didn't feel like a negative presence. I just kind of like I felt the impression of who are you? So this being like I'm like okay, like I just kind of felt like I said, this is all within a second, and I'm just like, you want to know? Go look. Like fucking not my problem. What happens after you read my brain? But like,
Yeah.
and like so it felt like literally like he rolled through an index card like through my brain. I felt it go through my eyes, and I literally almost like a brain scan through my head, and then it like pulled out, and then it like pulled back, and then we'd finally just been on our separate ways. But like I thought it was a Sasquatch that I had a communication with, and because I got the picture of it, and there was a Sasquatch within the picture next to with thing was. And I was looking and I looked at the eyes and just like in the angle, it's like, no, like I looked down a bit and these eyes don't match the ones I saw. And then I like looked down a bit and saw, and it's like, what is, what is that? I don't know what that is. And it's a reptilian. It was a reptilian now reaching out to me. And that's what it was. And I got a picture of that guy along with another one in the presentation as well. And this is just kind of the most recent. This is just kind of like where it's at right now. So that's pretty much everything.
I'm just looking at chat real quick for questions. Apparently, they don't eat weed in Georgia. They do eat the weed in Georgia.
Oh shit, I was wrong.
So yeah, guys, if you have questions, put them in caps, please.
Like I made, like I'm not perfect by at all at many things. Like originally, I thought I had a Sasquatch teacher and shit, but after a couple weeks of going out, it's just like there's no connection with that at all. But once I had that encounter with Hades, I can almost pick up, like you can almost, it's like when you have a friend come over and before you see him, like like everyone almost has their own energy signature or something. Like they have a different presence on them. It could be family, friends, whoever. And I feel that a specific type when he shows up. But he hasn't fully shown himself to me, but he has walked behind me numerous times, breathed heavy, paced me.
Hilton wants to know, do you ever feel threatened by them?
No, they've only offered me peace. And like they've been in my life for a long time before I knew about it, because I started going through old photos and everything of within the last couple of years, me still being out in the military. I got out in 2016, but they're in there. Both the beings, they're both like going through old nature pics, because me and my girlfriend went to Yosemite, and we went in the winter one time when it was just snowed out, beautiful, and like I had no like, I like Sasquatch at the time. I had no like, nah, it's no way, it's not here. But like they're in the photo. Like,
do you think the Bigfoot they're hanging back because you specifically wanted to interact with Bigfoot? You wanted the big Dogman interaction. Excuse me.
I love the Sasquatch too, just as much. So it's like if they want to interact with me, I'll interact with them back. Like, but it's just kind of like the ones that are more choosing to interact with me are those ones. Like the ones that are more so a pull. Like I can't quite describe it, but I see a big number of veterans and people who've gone through crazy tragedy be selected by these beings. But my grandparents are from Ireland and Scotland, Northern Ireland and Scotland. So there's a lot of history with that, and there's the wood woes, and there's these. I forget the name of what the Dogman in there, but there's evidence everywhere that these things have touched cultures all around. There's like German, there's like European like coats of arms that are wildmen that are obviously Sasquatch, and like ones even with like that look like werewolves. So
it goes back to ancient Egypt.
Yeah.
With Anubis.
But anyway, like part of that folklore was a warrior will go out and he'll try to find, like, I might be saying it wrong. I'm sorry if I fuck it up. Like I make mistakes, but if a warrior like his heart's filled with like hate, whatever, and he'll go into the woods and he'll come out and he'll have found peace and he'll be one with nature. And I've seen kind of a parallel that with like a lot of cultures. Maybe I'd like to do a presentation on that, would be cool. But like it's just like,
well, Native Americans would be a vision quest, or Sharon wants to know, do you have a channel?
No, me and Mike are friends. I'm not stable enough to run a channel, so I'll be giving him all my stuff. So like everybody, I'll keep everyone updated, and I've got a lot of stuff to come. So everyone, I'll share everything. We're sharing.
So another.
But yeah, like I was saying, like then I meet a bunch of other veterans. Like there's veterans all over the world experiencing these interactions with these beings. More so, much more with the Sasquatch. But I've seen maybe a couple other people who are tracking the Dogman too. Like, I know I'm not the only one, but I think this is like not something new necessarily. I just think it's
Well,
just
apparently Mike's seen him. Mr. DeVere has a question. What's the plan when Hades comes, when you guys come face to face?
probably try not to cry out of fear.
It's honest. What's your ultimate goal to achieve with these interactions? That's from Mark Dogman. He's down in Australia.
I would like to build a relationship upon trust, honesty, and action. And I would want to be able to, even if it's not physically directly, I want to establish some form of, I want to learn how to communicate with them essentially. I'm trying to see outside the box as much as I can. Like my next things that I'm going to start doing, or I'm going to start sleeping on these mountain ridges by myself and stuff.
Why have you seen a female dog man?
Yeah, I've seen female dogmen. I've seen and like litters of young ones. I've seen the older ones. There's a wide variety of dogmen, just like there is Sasquatch. The ones oftentimes around Southern California tend to be like these black, oversized German Shepherd coyote looking ones, in my experience. But like that's most of what I get. Hades is like another monster in itself.
I was corrected.
Yeah, dog woman. It's better.
Could just call her a bitch, but somebody will get well, I wouldn't be lying. What else? Sorry, I'm just I do this all the time. I get quiet and I just start scrolling and no, thought there was some other question, but Mid-South, what's going on there, buddy? Yancey Scott says thanks for serving, Sean.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. All right. So what else you got? I forgot where you left off.
No, that's cool. I can go on. I can talk about stuff I'm planning. So what I'm planning to do is go out locations that I've been seeing. Like I said, I go with my dogs during the day because they need their exercise. It's going to take them out. But if I know, I will get probably much more interaction at night without them. And I want that to be between a point where they feel more comfortable to interact with me. Like I plan to sleep below ground, give them the high ground, maybe even physically place stuff around where I'm sleeping that I know they could see it and like that's cover. I could go creep behind and creep on them. And that goes back to that place that I was talking about earlier in Utah, where it was that tree next to the rock where they took all that food off. So I'm like, I smoke weed. It helps me. I'm a recovered alcoholic, drug addict, so that it really helps me. So smoke. I'm smoking, sitting out there at night, just on a table, but I feel like there's someone there, What? Not a creepy way, but just more of the feeling of curiosity. But I have no idea where it's coming from, and it's a black forest night. You can't see anything, and I just then I had the porch light on, which like honestly just screws with your vision more than anything. And so like I go in the morning, and where that tree is, I've got pictures of it. Something overnight created a blind, and it was just perfectly positioned to where I was sitting. with a blind facing for anything to walk through. And then I paced that property the day previous, and it was not there. So that I thought just to go with like that as like kind of like to go with like giving them cover. They will use it. I mean, I'm sure we're their biggest entertainment when we're out
Absolutely.
there.
What? David, I don't know what you're referring to. I thought everyone involved was trying to prove that these people exist. I
I
don't
think
think
they
that
already are.
what proven to exist.
That's not my problem.
No, no. Yours is you're on a personal journey.
Yeah.
No, and I appreciate you sharing it with us.
Yeah, yeah. I think there's a lot of this going on more than people realize, and I think that this subject has been so bastardized by so many people for so many reasons that agreed. And I see a lot of my generation finally kind of turning that around, and maybe some of the like little old guys like you too. But like, there's like more of a new attitude of like sharing and shit, like not screwing like of helping each other, like how Mike like from Long Island Bigfoot helped me, and
Yeah, man. We don't. That's why we're all here. I mean, we
yeah.
all believe it's crazy shit.
So
You
if
know.
I'm talking about my experiences, that can help someone who's maybe going through someone
Absolutely.
similar be confident about saying, I've never been cool or popular. I don't give a fuck what people think of me.
No, but it's weird how it works out. It's a snowball effect with this because I bring you on. This helps you. Somebody in chat hears you and relates to that, and maybe they tell somebody that they haven't told anybody ever. So it does, it snowballs, and I think it's awesome. So
I'm,
I encourage people to tell their stories because you never know who it's going to affect.
I will say this though, do not fuck with these beings. Sasquatch is one thing, I mean, I don't say I have a problem being with that or anything, or people going out to do the Sasquatch thing, or even necessarily the Dogman thing, but this is not on me. This is on them that they allowed me to have this relationship with them. But I have no doubt whatsoever that they eat people. They'll kill you just for shits. I felt some like they're powerful. They're no joke, and so do the reptilians. I think the reptilians are behind me. I know that I sound like a tinfoil hat, dude, but I think there's something.
Get
There's
in
some,
line, man.
there's a lot. There's something. There's shit out there that eats people, 100%, and I'm sure.
Oh yeah, no doubt. We're
So
we're we're
I
just
would say
on the food.
please don't just be if you interact with dogmen and stuff, if you happen to come across one, maybe the next day leave like a gift there and say, please don't bother me with a flower or something. Don't they like Mike from Long Island Bigfoot had a very bad experience with them. And I know I've heard too many stories of people like doing nothing to like just be terrorized by these beings. They are a real threat. They are real. Do not think this is a joke. And I'm not Superman or anything. I'm thankful enough that they picked me to have a nice relationship with. So like, oh yeah, they live right on top of each other.
How about ETs? Any
I've seen what I
extraterrestrial?
think are elves or greys, but I think greys are just elves. You see a lot of the cave paintings from like all over the world, like talk about fairies, but a lot of them look like greys.
Interesting. Megan, what's happening? No, you're not in question timeout, girl. Feel free. Go for it. Let him rip. Give it your best shot. Megan's awesome. Megan will come up with some crazy shit. I'm glad you're here. What the hell am I doing? Oh. Oh shit, I probably missed one. Here we go. Hey Mugs, does your guest believe LSD or angel dust could play a role in spotting cryptids?
Maybe.
Oops.
I've done a lot of drugs and I've never seen a Sasquatch a good way. So like I'll say no to
Yeah,
that.
no, me neither. I don't drink anymore. I was never really into drugs. Weed's not a drug.
No, fuck no. I never saw anything. I never had visuals like that. So
No.
like
I've done acid once. I didn't see shit.
colorful stuff. Stuff's more colorful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Trails, tracers, whatever.
light trails.
Must have. Okay, Mid South Sasquatch says most of these beings, everyone that I've seen, they only interests are banging the first piece of ass they can find. Well, at least someone's getting laid.
Yeah, I think I'm too ugly for them to be interested.
How David Hayes wants to know how often do you visit these beings?
I go at least. I try to go twice a week, but
All right,
sometimes it just goes to once. And I try to spend at least 2 to 3 hours out there each time.
right on.
Yeah, and that's not including getting to their area. That's just with them.
Right on, real deal. Be like the Fonz. That's awesome. Thumbs up, people. Exactly, Paulie T. Weed is weed. Megan's working. She says, working, too much work. Where are we at? Geez, that was a quick hour.
Yeah, it was. I felt you kept on track pretty well.
Yeah, man. No, that's good. You got another hour in you?
I'm trying. I can probably.
Oh, it's up to you, dude. You don't have to stick around.
I don't think I have another hour worth of shit in my
No,
head.
that's all right. That's all right.
I appreciate
So
having me on though. It was really cool.
you're getting out, a few times a week, or at least once a week. That's good. Um, you're in it for personal reasons, and you know what, and I have to. I understand that completely, because I want to get out and see something, and it's not to prove it to anybody else but myself. That's where I'm at. I know that certain things exist. I've experienced it. I want to experience more.
You're not far from me, so I'm always down to come out there and go out with you sometime and show you a couple things.
Yeah, man. You're about a little less than 500 miles, just about 500 miles. Okay. I think this was answered earlier. I hear a lot of these beings following people to where they live. Has that ever happened to Sean? And
yeah, I've caught pictures of Dogman on neighbors' roofs before, more than once. But they don't, like I said, I try to be as kind and respectful to them as I possibly can. My philosophy is like a lot from what the Native Americans kind of think about respect and regard to the land and great spirit, and just more their mindset on it, big respect, and I think that's really what saves me with them. But like I said, I don't recommend people interacting with Dogmen at all. I recommend people that stay away from that.
well, Mid-South just said these unseen entities are pure evil. They are what will be seen as the 6 and 7 trumpet blows.
I'm an atheist, so I don't know.
To each his own.
I respect anyone's views.
I don't hold it against you.
I came from a really strict religious background, but it was just unhealthy one.
Catholic?
Southern Baptist.
Okay.
The type
No,
of Southern.
I wasn't saying Catholic was bad. I was just, that's the first thing that popped in my
Oh
head.
no,
was Catholic.
I have plenty of other friends screwed up from Catholicism. Mine was more that like Jews go to hell kind of Christianity. That kind.
Okay. How the hell did that go on? 'Cause I turned it off. Apparently, my phone turns itself back on.
And when I say I'm an atheist, I say in the sense I feel like there's just too many holes within modern day religion to like just put your faith in one. I just feel like it's just kind of like it's just kind of a lottery game. There's just so many.
I can guarantee you're not as atheist as you think you are.
I'm open to like if there is like if I'm open to whatever science or proof or what leads to. I'm open. I just try to keep open minded, but like if it does
You
into that,
don't
then
need
it does.
science for religion. Trust me, they don't mix.
Hey, you're welcome.
No, I'm just saying if you have the respect for Mother Nature, like you do, if if you believe certain things, you kind of look at things from a Native American point of view, the respect that they have for the land. So, to say you're an atheist, you might not believe in God, but you believe in something,
Mm-hmm.
So
Definitely
that's
have
why
power. I did definitely agree with that.
What's in a name? You might call it Mother Earth, but believe in something, or you'll fall for anything.
Mm-hmm.
How long you been doing this shit? David Hayes wants to know.
I have been doing it for about a year now. It's been almost a year of doing it.
Excuse me. Yes, Randy. He's an agnostic.
Yeah, I think that's more right. Agnostic. Randy's right.
What's in a label? I say that about these interdimensional creatures because of the experiences I've had. Being in their presence, they infect your beliefs or alter them.
Yeah, they've gone into my dreams before. I've had interactions with Hades in my dreams where I've talked to him. But it's dreams and nothing makes sense in dreams. It could just be a dream. But like I have had interactions with him, but I've never felt anything negative from it. But I believe you. I mean, I can never tell someone's personal experience is something they didn't have. And
Sure.
I'm sure it's not the same thing all over the place. I'm sure they're individualistic. And I'm sure there are quite a few evil ones out there that are malicious.
I mean, I might have almost 60 shows under my belt, but I'm still new to this, No, when I got into this before I started the show, I was Bigfoot, and then you start to hear Dogman, and I'm like, crap. Now there's there's something else I got to learn about. I kept saying, okay, one cryptid at a time. I was going somewhere with that, and I just had a brain fart. Sorry, buddy.
No, you're all good. I have a goldfish brain. It's all good.
What's up, Duke? I don't see you, but I see somebody else does. It's funny you mentioned Duke earlier. Yep, there he is. Yeah, Duke's really cool. I like Duke. Very intelligent man, very knowledgeable man.
He was the guy that I pretty much went off of everything. Love your channel, Duke. That was like Duke. He kept an open mind back, and he I knew he got a lot of shit for it too, but everything that he believed prior is common knowledge now that he got shit for back years ago.
In the day, yeah.
So to stick up and even back then be like, nah, this is how it is. I mean, that takes some nuts to do that. I have a lot of respect for that, to have an open mind.
It's just standing up for what you believe in, and Does Sean always try to sit or visit the same location?
Yes, but I do go to locations just to get out and see new locations.
Right on.
But I try to have like base points. They're usually about 2 miles off trail, 2 miles off the road.
What's happening, Sandy? Good to see you. Hope all is good. What else? What got Sean into cryptids?
I was always into Sasquatch as a kid. It was. I just thought it was really cool. The thought of just some uh, some ape man running around the forest throwing rocks and just harassing people. I just thought it was really cool. Like any kid would. And I, of course, got married, and then like that got put on the back shelf. And
Sure.
when I started having more free time, it was like, and then I like that's kind of like I was very like I was like at one point I got my associates when I got out. I was a
Right on.
semester and a half away from getting my bachelor's at Dominguez University for communications, and then like the I didn't know trauma and PTSD work like that. Like it's like one day a switch went off and like everything fell apart. But like so in that time of like going through trauma care, fighting for the disability and everything, I listened to a lot of podcasts, and Deuce was like my favorite by far. Like I liked his method and approach and the way he treated people. He always had respect for everybody, and he took a lot from the Native Americans. So I did go off a lot off him. But I liked Sasquatch Chronicles. Wes seems like a nice guy. And Bigfoot Odyssey. Like Carrie does a lot of cool like documentary series where he goes out to location and stuff, and like people show him. Like he's really good at that.
Yeah, that's that was my first introduction to Bigfoot Odyssey. I think was his documentaries. Carrie's cool. Have you seen any UFOs? Asked Scotty B.
I've seen like UFOs around Catalina, but that's kind of like yeah, that's why it's like it's like I'm drinking a beer.
Goonie Goo Goo. That's fucking awesome. It goes. That's all, dude. What the hell is it? Eddie Murphy. Was it Raw? Goonie Goo.
Goonie goo goo.
Your wife's a Bigfoot. That's funny.
But then like so during this trauma care everything time I was able to like absorb all this information, and then I slowly was able to like push myself to go outside. So it was kind of it was kind of helpful to do that too. So like as soon as I was able to do it, I did it.
Right on. I just saw a question. Oh, there it is. Ruku, are you sure the Sasquatch and Gugwi aren't the same entities? Just
They
filtering
look different. They look different,
human
100%.
since they
Different vibe
manipulate.
interaction, different entire mentality. Like I said, the Gugwis were like maybe they're like I like the beings like Hades, the group that I interacted prior, some of the groups that I interact with on the Mountain Ridge location that I told you about. There's enough of them where they can't hide every frickin' noise. They're quiet, and there's birds noises and shit. Like if you didn't know about them, you wouldn't know they're there. But they give their presence off more than they would like to think. But like the Gugwi man is just ninja, 100%. And like I told you, the one that went from like this, and all I saw was a shadow, but he had to be at least 13 feet tall and across
How
like
big?
4 feet across, 13 feet and like 4.5 to 5 feet across. Big. I didn't see the face. I didn't see anything, but I just saw obviously probably the alpha of that troop.
Megan asks, this is directed at me. Have you ever thought of building choppers? You'd be awesome. No. Megan, I don't even own a motorcycle. I don't ride. People just went, no, I don't ride.
And too many friends have died from that.
I just play a biker on YouTube. No, I'm kidding. Are you going on Thursday's full moon? You going to go out and check things out? Or?
I was actually thinking that I wanted to go out on a full moon. That'll be my first night out. I mean, in a way, I know it and it's like it adds like I put my stuff out there and like how you guys have all seen it. So shit happens to me now. It's like it's out there. If anything happens, it's out there, and like there'd be like a trail in a sense, you know. I'm not saying that I want anything to happen to me, but I feel like it would get some attention because I do have quite a bit of footage of these things, and I'm happy to share all of it.
No, right on. Real, you know what? I'm going to touch on this. I don't talk religion, but we're not getting into religion like specifically. But Real says religion is not in the Bible. It's a man-made concept. Religion divides and is the enemy. No hate, please. My opinion.
I'm just nice to people till they give me a reason not to be. Right?
No, but you know what? I agree with Real. I don't know about it being in the Bible, whatever. I'm not going to get into the Bible. But I do believe that religion was a man-made, concept, and it was all about controlling the masses. How do you control people? You put fear in them. How do you fear? You just.
I think it was very necessary.
I believe, I have a relationship with God, but Real put it out there, so I figured I'd put it out there.
Yeah, like I said, I can never tell anyone's personal experience they didn't have it. Like just like I mean, if someone says like my shit's just, I'm saying it's just as wacky, right?
Religion is one thing, faith is another.
Yeah, that's true. It's very true.
All right, I'm off of the subject now. Sorry. Go ahead.
So and that's pretty much all I have.
Can you beatbox? Megan wants to know if I can throw down a Sasquatch rap and you can beatbox.
I hate rap. I'm sorry. I'm more of a heavy metal dude.
Yeah, I'm not a rap person, but thanks, Megan.
It's very sweet.
That's a good question. Mr. DeVere says, Sean, do you think your experiences would have been different if you were carrying, a firearm?
I think a gun wouldn't do anything with these beings. I'm telling you, this is an hour away from downtown Los Angeles. In not only the mountain ridges, but the areas for what these brings and how big and their presence are is relatively small. So like they're on top of you 24. Like even if I had a machine gun, it wouldn't do shit. Like even if you're out in the middle of nowhere, like I think there's enough of them all the time. They got your game. They got your game. Like there's just like it's too easy for one of them just to come up behind you and crack your head off.
Yeah, they'll just pop your head off.
Yeah.
But
for me, it like I don't because I feel like it's a sign to them that like I put this trust in you.
Right on. I don't go out with weapons. I mean, I'll carry a knife on me, but that's it.
Yeah, I got a knife on me. That's just for like if I need it. That's more for people.
Paulie, apparently Paulie, we're going to put this up. I got to scroll up. I was just told to scroll up and find Paulie T's. I know I scrolled up way too high. And this is what we do, dude. We just kick back, have a good time. I hope you're comfortable. I hope you're feeling
No,
good.
I really appreciate it. I loved
You
your
know,
show, and
everybody in chat is awesome. They come up with some amazing questions and some funny shit.
everyone's always very nice and friendly. It's always a nice experience, something to look forward to see your podcast or when you do it.
I appreciate that. David says, "Does anyone do you take anybody out with you
No,
besides your dog?" It's all okay.
I feel like this is my thing with them. Like maybe one day I might bring someone there, but that would just be more to show them like the area.
Megan want to be a baller. Shot caller. Got flowing locks. The Mogollon Monster. Few shows on Tuesdays and Thursdays night. I keep it real for my subscribers, right? Right on. Thanks, Paulie. I feel like I'm talking to someone from The Sopranos when I call somebody Paulie.
Paulie.
Let's see. Larry says, "Why do you think they do not attack people more if they can? Do you think they follow any sort of law? Do they answer to a god? Do they answer to a higher power?"
Like I said, my experience with them walking in them and the area that unfortunately burnt down that both the Dogman and the Sasquatch gave me tours on separate days, they do have things which I felt was impressions given to me of what they were. Like
Okay.
I can't prove that, but just saying, like
Sure,
I
Brett.
saw community areas, like I said, with the oak trees, where it was almost like a Greek theater, where in the way that it was set up was for like there's broken sticks and like just the way your voice would carry, even it was crazy. And when you would walk into it, it almost like had like its own unique feeling to it. And then you could go into other nesting areas, but they have many different types of nest areas. But like the I don't know, like they might just be. I think it might just be more if they stack crap up and like there's more of a tunnel system. But
Okay.
I think they like to play the game. There's more to the eye than what you see, even though you don't see them. There's a lot more. I think there's a lot more society than we think because they all follow the same rules. They all don't want to be like interact with us. They always want to keep
I don't blame
away.
them.
But like, yeah, we're awful. He destroyed the world.
But some animals play with their food before they eat it, so I'm kidding.
That's cool.
And Brandy says this, and I think it's cool. "I think you're on an amazing journey. Always follow your instincts and stay safe." That's all I got.
Thank you, Brandy.
Right
I
on,
appreciate it. And like any like Mugs will be playing a video after this of mine. And if you guys want to go see it, Long Island Bigfoot has my video posted. It's called Dog SP's. It's his most recent video. So
Yeah. And I'll post that video at the end of this.
yeah.
So if you want to check it out and you can go back, I'll probably post a link somewhere in the descriptions. I figured out how to do that. For the longest time, I couldn't figure out how to post a
I
link.
suck with tech, man.
You ever, Joe wants to know, have you ever cast any tracks?
I just didn't want to deal with the whole messy plaster situation. Anything I do, I just make a mess of it, and I know I would just get it all over me, and it'd be a mess. But like, there'd definitely be something in the future I'd be interested in doing. It'd be cool to get a cast.
Right on. Just scrolling up.
They do everything to hide their footprints. They create, like, if you go within their areas, they have almost what seems like zigzag logs set up just so they can avoid leaving any impressions on the ground.
I believe that. I've seen some pictures and video out of Colorado. I think it was Colorado Bigfoot. And there were areas that they showed that was the size of a football field, but all the logs were stacked on one another, leaning against trees, and they could go through that whole area without touching the ground. Picture going through a football field and not having to touch the ground.
Yeah.
It's incredible. But Duke says half the deal with taking folks to interact with Bigfoot is to have good-natured and not aggressive and high-strung people. Bigfoot tend to avoid groups with armed or stressed-out people in them, and that makes sense.
And I don't want to be responsible for someone. This is my relationship with them. I don't I don't tell anyone the location or anything. And I go out of my way to kind of keep it secret, but I don't want to be responsible if something happens.
No, I get it. Hey, Jules. That was weird. It's not Jules. Iron Dogger, what's happening? Great to see you. Toy Airy. Hey, B. Oh.
If there's new people on, I can go back through some stuff if some people haven't heard it.
Nah, that's what replay's for.
Okay. Yeah, true.
Now, though, people have questions. Larry says, do you think they are afraid of reprisal from humans if they became none? If they can't. Do you think they are afraid of reprisal from humans?
Do you mean like revenge if they do something?
Maybe amongst the tribe that's their own clan. They might get ostracized.
I'll be honest. I like revenge. Why wouldn't they? I don't. I mean, it's not a good thing to act on, but there's.
You don't want to. I've heard they can be spiteful.
Yeah.
So
spiteful.
So
definitely.
It is a form of revenge.
They're more human than we think they are, or at least they have that attachment to them. Both of them do, or most of those beings, it seems like.
Bim Jim says, I would rather hike and camp alone. A lot of people do.
Peaceful. I like the quietness, and I know they like that I don't make any noise.
So, Johnny, I was just pointing out that's where I saw the videos. Rocky Mountain Sasquatch Organization is the good deal, is the real deal. Kelly Shaw does a great job. Duke's friends with Kelly. They get together. They put out some good stuff.
Appreciate you having me on. I'm a big fan of the show.
Oh, no worries, man. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. So what he was saying is, do you think there's, let me go back to the original one.
If they know you're there and they know you know that they're there.
Humans, if they know you're there. Yeah.
I feel like the evidence from everyone that I'm hearing, and even what I've kind of seen myself, is I think they know we're not gun-toting hunters anymore. I think there's more and more and more of a realization of that, because even like Long Island Bigfoot, he's had his interactions in very suburban areas in the middle of like towns and stuff. But like we've all heard the reports of people walking in a Dogman in the neighborhoods and stuff. Like, I'm sure they take riverways and any kind of sewage or something. Like, there's always cats missing from here all over the place. I wouldn't even doubt if they crossed on the Santa Ana River all the way down here and just camped out in like nature centers. I'm sure they do it all over the place.
Well, I'm sure anywhere they feel protected.
There's a lot of food. Like, there's a lot of benefit for them to come into our areas. But I think at the same time, they're smart enough not to like make too much of a mess of it.
Crow Creek wants to know, are you familiar with Kirk Stokes, his work on Dogman?
No, unfortunately, I'm not.
Let me check out. He's got some good experiences
I
and
think I've heard
stories.
the name. I just don't know anything about him. But yeah, if you know you're there and you know they're there, not even in a malicious way, like even the ones that I interact with like to punk me. They'll come up behind me, they'll breathe behind me. I've even been touched a couple times, like back of the neck. I've had been sitting on the log and I've had my leg pulled. There's fucking nothing there or anything. But I'm like 6'3", 230-pound dude. I'm a big guy. So for something pulling my leg enough to make me slip off a log, but it didn't feel.
Larry says, "Are they hurting humans?"
I think the Dogmen and the Reptilians are, but I think the Sasquatch are much less than people think they are. I think they're Sasquatch are by far the most peaceful beings.
Let's see. We asked that. Mid South says Kirk Stokes goes out with a sleeping bag, and that's it.
I'll look into it, definitely.
David says, "Thanks, Mugs. Me too. 76 and 92." So David served in the army as well. So
Thank you for your service,
David, thank
David.
you. Absolutely. Mid South says Dogman will feast upon you given the chance.
Yeah, they're opportunistic.
Let's hope not. Mr. DeVere says, "Stay safe, Sean. Watch your six."
And thank you.
And David said, "Thank you for your service."
Thank you, David.
Paulie, Steph, you're a soldier. Is there supposed to be a question mark there, or is that a statement? Yeah, Steph is a soldier. And my Stephanie Perez here in chat, my moderator, she did
But
8 years in the army. Right on.
it's a
And
long
thank
time.
you.
Yeah, thank you for your service. But one thing also that like top off, like I said, the Reptilian was the most recent encounter that I had. And like I thought in the past, the Sasquatch was my teacher. It wasn't, but the Reptilian showed up in the same exact spot that Hades did in my house. Like I got the picture, same spot along the wall. I just felt like something in my gut just says that's an indication to go down another road, an adventure, which I'm looking forward to. I don't hear too many people interacting with the Reptilians.
Didn't well, Mike has had experiences or with Reptilian, hasn't he?
I'm just saying it's not as common as like Sasquatch Dogman. I don't hear about it
No,
that
sure.
much.
No. And like I said, that goes back to like I started with Sasquatch, now I know about Dogman, and now I'm hearing about reptilians. It's like that's why I said earlier, I'm kind of new to this, so I'm still getting used to all this, you know, strange stuff. I don't doubt it, I don't. You saw what you saw,
I got the picture. I got a picture of him too showing up. I'll post that in one of my future videos. But I do have that picture of the Reptilian. And like warning on that though, the they're not. I almost feel like they're not. They're there's something else other than the Dogman and the Sasser. They're just another. They're another. They're like a wild card in themselves, and they don't. Yeah, the ones I see don't necessarily look like as much as the Sasquatch and Dogman do, as like maybe having like a structural build, as
a
more they're
humanoid
all a humanoid build is more they're just kind of like an artificial cloud of AI. Like remember from Lost? I know it sounds crazy, but remember that giant swarm that would follow people around? It would protect the island.
vaguely. Yeah, I do.
Just thinking it of a free cloud swarming. That's kind of like my experience. That's what they often are like. But I mean,
So
that's just
so Miss Real Deal says native people call a lot of these cryptids and animals tricksters. Learn from your forefathers. Okay. Didn't mean to cut you off,
no, you're cool. I wasn't talking.
but I'm so good at it. No. Oh, where did that just go? Cajun Jules says a very heartfelt thank you to all who've served and are currently serving the U.S.
Thanks, Cajun.
Absolutely. Thanks. A 66U Chinook helicopter. 66U. Isn't the 46 a Chinook? Do you know? I think the 46 is Chinook. Chinook's got the double props. But
I've been in one
you
a few times.
probably know
I just
that.
can't
Yeah,
remember the name.
just talking out loud.
No, you're cool.
Yeah, now I think they're replacing the 46s and the Chinooks with the Ospreys.
More billion-dollar fighter jets when I'm so I don't need to go into politics. Sorry. I'm sorry, not a politic person.
Tori Airy asked, I should put this in caps, are reptilians flesh and blood?
Like I said, I can't say for everything, but I just try to share what I can, prove as much as I can to what evidence or what photographs I get. And I'm sure there's some element to that because I heard that a lot, but I'm also kind of like there's more to it. It's not just one answer.
Right now?
Like you see reptilians all over the world, Quetzalcoatl, like all over the Mayan artwork, all over the place. Like it's the same similar kind of serpents and reptilians, carved dragons. Like like ancient stuff that like a lot of people don't even know when it was necessarily built. They're still arguing about a lot of dates about a lot of structures and stuff.
Well, that goes back to being able to date things. I mean, you can carbon dating only goes so far. We just talked about this recently.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell did I was talking about it with Tex and Jason over on their show yesterday. How carbon dating only goes back, I think the oldest is like 50,000 years. So yeah, it is hard to date things, but
My thing is though, if you have many cultures of different cultures around the world who had no contact with each other, carving the same crap, the
sure.
same type of crap, like that's not coincidence anymore. That's not. There's no way that's coincidence anymore.
Yeah,
And
but
they were
we're finding today how many different cultures were in touch with each other. You know, people coming from
most definitely we're learning every day.
yeah, from Hawaii and the South Pacific to all, traveling all the way to the west coast of South America, and there's just so many similarities throughout the world where the same culture, it's different cultures but the same shit, like you said.
And like like I said, on the European coat of arms, there's often a wild man or a werewolf too. Like there's all these scientific indication that they are a part of our history, but I think a lot of that has kind of been muffled or manipulated, unfortunately. I think these beings are a much larger part of our past than we think they are.
Well, they've been around a lot longer than us, probably.
Yeah, most
A lot.
definitely.
I don't know why my phone keeps going off.
Popular.
It's funny because I specifically, I don't normally turn it off, but I did before, and it popped back on. That's funny. Yeah, I don't know why it turns itself back on, but whatever. So if you guys any more questions, now's the time because we are going to wind down. We got about 15 minutes left if we get that far. Joe, thank you very much. Thanks, Mogs and Sean and everyone in chat. Got to go. I really needed this. Right on,
Good
man.
night.
Joe's a good guy. Larry says, what my question was, do you think they are afraid of what humans will do if it becomes known that they are hurting people? Oh.
I mean, I think there might be a bit of intimidation, but at the same time, these things
No,
are
I,
like,
go
we're
ahead.
nothing. We're nothing. These things that not only in physicality, but I mean, I've got a lot of pictures of them like just predator camouflaging in the crap. I think if
No,
like if it came down to it, I think they could beat us if they had to fight. If they're smart enough and have enough ability, I think they could beat us
as a species.
as like a working society, working with both Squatch, Dogman, like and all these beings. Like I'm saying, do seem to have a functioning society working together. Like I have multiple pictures of Dogmen and Sasquatch interacting. Not saying they're friends, but they do share a common enemy, which is us.
I think what he's getting at here is this question is do you think that they fear that there's going to be a repercussion? Like they know if they fucking kill somebody,
I think in the sense
more
that
people are going to
they're
show
more
up.
worried about their food pattern and their like habits being interrupted because now like oh I can't like as openly hunt right now or whatever because there's some asshole in orange vest looking for me. I think it's kind of more along that. He's like, you're not gonna find them if they don't want you to find them. You're not gonna find them.
David, I'm just starting to go out locally, just looking for signs, not necessarily looking for creatures, just seeing what's in the area, checking things out, possibilities. I have theories that I check out of where they might pass through or whatever. I live in an interesting area. There's a river that runs right through my town, which is basically high desert. So it provides, water, food. There's plenty of,
Everything. They're always
yeah.
next to rivers and water.
I'll I'll investigate here locally. I don't have to go, up to the Mogollon Rim. I think there's stuff a lot closer than I originally thought. Big Rob, have you seen a UFO? We brought that up earlier. What's funny is I don't even look up. I don't look for UFOs. Because to me it's a plane.
These beings hide in trees a lot more than people think they are.
Huh?
These beings hide in trees a lot more than people think they are. You'd be surprised. Look, when you're taking pictures or you're going around, don't just look down like you're looking for a person. They'll take every little inch they can have in an advantage and hide, and that's including up in some big tree watching you. And that's where I've gotten some of my best shots. I mean, you think about it, in a 100-foot tree, how far you could see, especially with their vision.
Yeah, I guess they would have better vision than us, I suppose. I don't know if do gorillas have better vision than us?
I had
I
no
don't
idea.
know. Just no clue.
I couldn't answer that. I just know like they are active at night, so I'm assuming their eyesight is better.
Sure.
We're pretty blind at night.
So I'm just playing devil's advocate a little bit, being a dick.
It's cool. Yeah, I don't care.
What's up, Overbuilt? Good to see you. Murray, what's going on? So glad you guys showed up tonight. We got, 83 watching right now. Right on. Good night. David, I am in Arizona. I'm just about 15 miles, maybe, about 15 miles southwest of Sedona.
If anyone's getting into this and doing this, be very, very, very aware of X's. Dogmen use them just as much, if not more, than the Sasquatch, and oftentimes they use them to separate their boundaries and property. And even if you're out just, messing around in like a Sasquatch area, the Sasquatch, for the most part, won't do anything. But you could cross that line in the Dogman's territory and they'd like, you're on their shit list. Like, that's just how sensitive they can be. And so I'm just warning, keep an eye out for X structures, keep an eye out for like things that look like they've been manipulated to be built as barriers by the natural occurring like elements like the trees, the plants, the dead rocks, whatever. They'll make like you look around. I left
Real
on the moon earlier.
What's that?
He said, "Where are all the pictures and evidence?" And I said, "I left it on the moon."
No, he's got some stuff. I'm going to post this video afterwards. It's a slideshow, cool music, and you should actually throw your own channel together and post. Start posting stuff.
I really like Mike. He's a really good guy. And
Right?
I'm
That's
just happy to help him.
perfect. You don't have to do it like a full-time thing. What I'm saying is, I get where you're coming from. Trust me. Yeah, Mike's awesome.
He's a great guy.
But you can actually just post stuff. You don't have to have a show. Just post stuff. Yeah, Cajun has a good question. Jules says, "Oh shoot, how are we supposed to know the difference between Sasquatch?"
I'm just saying that's the hard thing. Like, I don't even know at the very end of the day. I'm just saying if you see barriers like X structures or like little walls made of sticks and logs, like be conscious of not crossing that because you might be walking into something. I'm not saying keep an eye out for like Dogman's break sticks at the bottom because their tails get in the way at the top or some shit. But like just look for barriers. They like their privacy and they like to make sure they have it.
Larry says, "We do not know what we do not know about all these beings." It's
I
true.
don't know anything. Just the tiny stuff I've experienced.
Dogman here in North America.
Dingo.
Thanks, Duke.
It's funny.
What's going on, Adam? Good to see you. That's funny. Fucking, what did he say? Duke, you dizzy? Duke, you dizzy after show? Megan, that's awesome. Hey, Sean, do you think you could gain great intel from Kermit the Frog regarding reptilian people?
Yeah, thanks. Probably. He's like their pope.
Oh, God. You know what he says? It's not easy being green. Too funny. Okay, David, what about the X you see in forest? What do you want to know, David? Be more precise. Because he said apparently you're saying that they both use X's. So
I'm saying if you're going in an area that is Sasquatch, oftentimes their areas border each other. And their areas are more, I know.
Paulie says I fucking give up. That's not what I said. Siri is drunk.
Oh, shit.
Oh, too funny. I didn't mean to cut you off, dude, but that just caught me.
No, it's funny.
Cajun wants to know, why are the reptilians taking people? if they
People
are.
are easy food. We're soft. We don't have antlers. We don't have hooves. There's a lot of I just started interacting with these beings, and uh, there's a lot of I've read so much mixed stuff about them, but like they have an alpha predator vibe like the Dogman do, and I mean we're soft and squishy. Like even I'm like fairly in shape, and I'm huffing and puffing and gagging sometimes up to the ridge point that I'm getting to. Like it wouldn't be much to just like grab my ass up with one hand and like take me back to the burrow and crack my head open, but like we're easy. People are easy, especially like if there's no evidence, like in a lot of these 411 cases where they're just gone.
Complete
There's no case.
disappearances.
Like it's just like a murder. No body, no case.
Yeah, there's
There
a
are a lot of
Dogman.
evidence, Mickey.
I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, it's probably in heaven with them now or something. Probably.
Does Sean try not to cross it? I guess they're
They've led me in the middle of their. They've led me in the middle of their areas and stuff, like to the point where I'm like nervous to keep pressing forward. But go. Like it's not like I said, it's not telekinetic yet, but it is cognitive muscle. It is part of your cognitive muscle function that they tap into. Like you have to go it like a certain way, and your head and your body know it. But it's just kind of like they lead me into what I felt were like obvious like nursery areas, and I'm just like, you fucking kidding me, right? Like I'm not. I'm even nervous to walk through those spots
kids
a
got to
lot of
eat
the
too.
time. Yeah, I'm just like oh shit, okay, and I've never had a bad experience.
We touched on the 411. Cajun Joe says, "What about people who are found deceased in water?"
You know, they probably drowned.
Oh shit! Really? You get these people who are fine, like an athlete. He could be the quarterback, and he's in 2 inches of water in a stream.
Yeah.
You
His
know,
dad, like what? Yeah, there's a lot of weird ones like that. Definitely agree.
fucking drown. Wow. Gotta scroll up again. What happens is I pause on a question, and then
No,
as
I'm
soon as
cool waiting, answering any
I gotta
questions.
keep scrolling back.
I'm happy to answer anyone's questions. To the best that I can.
Who says crap? I'm well marbled. But are you aged? That's important. Who fell? Murray, be careful out there, man. He's falling off shit. He said he fell off his truck a few days ago.
Oh, that sucks. I've had that happen.
Getting to that hip breaking age. Be careful. I was going to ask something. Infrasound. What's your take on that?
I believe they have a bill. I'm sure they can do that. I mean, if an elephant or a tiger could, but at the same time, like I'm telling you, the way that they can manipulate energy and emotion is next level. They can literally change. Like I don't know. This is how I'm trying to explain it to the closest that I can. I'm not trying to be deceitful. I'm trying to be straightforward, but they can, like I said, with the Dogmen, when they were leaving mutilated, dismembered body parts like all over my trail, my like single foot to foot trail that I always take the same exact path, almost foot to footstep. And when I would walk on a mutilation, I would walk into what almost would seem like a cloud, and it'd smike like a happy dopamine rush, and it'd like, oh, this is funny, this is meant. Like there's something there that your body picks up is which the intent they were trying to put. They can manipulate that. Like there's evidence that we have the tech do shit like that already. But like that's like the ability these things have.
Right on.
But I'm
TFE
sure
said,
they can zap you. I'm sure they can zap you too. I don't think I've been zapped.
TFE says they are egotistical and see us as cattle. We're lesser and pathetic to them. Apparently tasty.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. I mean, you know damn well, if people are getting taken left and right out there, I'm sure. What are you trying to find out about these beings, etc.? Like, what's your goal?
I have felt again, this is not me. This is 100% on these beings' interaction coming to my life in the sense that they have really guided me to have a closer relationship. They've had just a bigger hand, if not a bigger hand, than my effort into it. I just show up. I'm just driving there pretty much. They take care of everything else. But
Good hosts.
mhm. But like it's crazy though. It's good they even have that sense to them to guide you through that.
Right on. So, guys, if there's any more questions, now's the time to put them out there. Let me just double check this. So, what advice do you have for people watching who like myself, who like I want to go experience a Sasquatch? Keep your Dogman, not interested.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
doesn't mean I won't get to one, but what advice do you have for people if they want to go out and do this?
Possibly the worst thing you can have in this field is a closed mind. You're fucked if you get into this with like a preset mindset. You might as well not even waste your time doing this. Like because
One last question, Sean. How close
yeah,
have you been, and do
I've
you feel
I've
they know
been
in touch?
within 3 feet of them or closer. I've been
Yeah.
touched by them before. I've had my guardian Hades breathing down my neck, and I could hear his breathing, and he sounded like a 600-pound dog walking behind me. And he was like literally, you could feel the heat of his breath hitting my back of my neck.
And TFE, we touched on it earlier. Yeah, we do. I say we because we agree on this. They do know your intention. I feel, in my opinion, maybe they don't, but I think they do.
I have nothing physical gain. I don't give a shit about fame or money or whatever. I just want a genuine relationship with them, and I
Right
want
on.
to see kind of where it takes me. Selfish in
Right on.
that sense, but it's I think it'd be cool, and I'd be happy to help people if they're having problems with this and stuff because I know there's a lot of these things take you on a journey. They choose who they want to deal with. I'm not saying you can't go out there and not deal with them, but I'm seeing it with a lot of other veterans and a lot of other people around the world. And Mike has kind of shown me this too, even with himself. They will guide you to where you want to go. You just have to show up and do a bit of the work. But like a lot of times, just another thing, like I've said before 1,000 times, do not fuck with a dogman. Like I've seen little bits of what they can do, and it's no joke. They're very sensitive. They're like they almost have the mentality of a guard dog sometimes if you step beyond. There's a lot of reasons why the government puts up barbed wire fences in random places. As much as I don't agree how they deal with it, but like sometimes it's better not to walk past a fence. And
Sure.
try to go into an area, not
Boundaries
empty.
are there for a reason.
Yeah. Try not to go like if you're having a bad day, you have to take the time to set yourself, meditate, regroup, and find yourself in a place of peace. That's what I often have. The most efficient time interacting with them is if I can create a positive headspace through meditation and breathing work. because oftentimes if I'm like angry or mad, fucking this, or I'm having one of my mental days, like the interaction's not nearly the same.
All right, we're gonna do one more question. Brandy wants to know is how can you be sure they are in fact dogmen and mean well? No offense, honestly curious.
All all the pictures I have of them being feet within my dogs, all the evidence I will post more, all the evidence of like my dogs interacting with the youth of the dogman as well as the Sasquatch, and I feel like that really helps.
You know, so between Mike and myself, we'll get your evidence out there. If you want to stick with Mike, that's fine. Whatever. But yeah, I think people want to see.
Yeah, I'd be happy to update everyone. Come
Right
on,
on.
like I love your show, so I'm always happy to come on.
Thanks. But on that note, we are going to call it a night. If you want to say goodnight, chat, and I'll put you backstage, and I'll be right back there. I'm just going to say goodnight to everybody, but feel
Night,
free.
everyone. A good night.
And thanks again.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, my pleasure. I'll be right with you. Well, guys, I hope you had a good time tonight and enjoyed the show. It was interesting. Good show. Paulie, sorry we're not getting to that question. Which little blue pill do you prefer? Come on, dude. Again, if you guys enjoyed the show tonight, please hit the like, subscribe, share, and definitely hit up that comment section. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Anybody in the near future, or whatever, you have a story you want to tell, you want to come on, you guys can hit me up. Just send an email, monstermogan@gmail.com, and I'll talk to you, and we'll get something going. I know you guys have stories you want to tell, so why don't you come on and tell them? Anyway, I'm babbling. Thank you guys again, and I will see you Thursday. Not sure about a guest, playing with something. We'll figure it out. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. You guys have an amazing evening, amazing Wednesday tomorrow. Peace and God bless. See you soon.